Hello, 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 and welcome to the SideQuest, your weekly journey into the world of video games, video game culture, and the geeks who play video games.
I
We
don't like
are
this one.
a,
Nah,
I
yeah,
don't know, this is
Don't
yeah,
kind of
like
terrible. I'm
it.
going to stop.
you did it. Yeah.
We are Team SideQuesting. You find us sidequesting.com, SideQuesting TV over on Twitch and YouTube. Please like and subscribe and da-da-da. Do that right now. Everybody pause, go. Yeah, good. Everybody good. Okay. I hear that you have to do that like the first minute or 20 seconds of a
Yeah.
video podcast.
And like I said before, if you parse it just right and you say, "Hey, hit like and subscribe right now," you can make the YouTube button blink through the algorithm. So
Really?
yeah,
Hit like and subscribe right now.
I'm not even
Oh,
subscribed to our channel, so let me
me
just do
neither.
that
I don't
real
need this
quick.
bullshit clogging up my feed. I don't need to see I don't want to see my face.
No one wants to see your face.
Exactly.
Anywho, hello. It's gonna be an awesome show. Hello. It'll be an awesome show. Oh, I like that. That's good.
No.
We have a bunch to talk about today. First of all, it's great to see y'all, my lovely friends, my family, all together. We have 3 people wearing hats and
Yeah.
1 person with
Who doesn't need
fucking
one?
amazing hair because they have. You got the Rangers. Is it the Rangers hat? You supporting your team tied to with the Panthers? Nice. It's a good series. It's a good ass series.
I can go
it's
grab
killing me.
my
What? What's that?
I
It's
can go grab
it's
my
killing me.
straw hat cap.
It's killing you.
You should.
Beard squad represent. I just shaved mine, so
Yeah.
I had a slightly Tom-ish beard up until about 2 days ago. Yeah. It's funny. It's like counterclockwise.
Yeah.
There's no beard, light beard, Zach beard, and man of the mountain.
Yeah,
JJ.
it's the closer to June, the more the more time. This is it's on borrowed time at this point. I can't do summer.
I always
at this
find it
point.
hilarious that like once a year, once every couple of years, whatever, once every few months, JJ has to shave his beard
Yeah.
for work,
Mhm.
and then that sucker grows back like within 3 hours. Like the very next podcast episode, he's
like
got a
that,
full beard,
yeah.
and I'm so jealous.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer shaves and it just pops back in with his.
Yeah, the Santa Claus, we call that Santa Claus. Well, hey,
God, I
it's
want this
lovely.
to go super white when I get old. I really do. I
Wow,
want
racist. Good
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're succeeding right now on this podcast because we are super white on this.
Yeah,
show. I'm
this
just
is like
kidding.
Zach's
the way
the
the world-
darkest of all of us.
Anywho, we have a good show today because there's a lot of shit happening around the world of video games. Some games that y'all are playing. I wasn't playing much, but I was playing something, so I'll get into that. But let's dive into some news. There's a couple quick little news bites, and then I kind of threw this at y'all, but I didn't tell you, but we can make some pre-E3 quick predictions. Maybe we'll save those for the end of the episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because tomorrow we have the Sony State of Play happening. Yeah,
The Jeff Grubb was right portion of the show.
The Jeff Grubb was right portion of the show. No, they have a State of Play every year. It's funny. They have a State of Play every year in May. They have an Xbox showcase in June. They have a Nintendo Direct in June. You can set your watch to these things. I don't know why people are ever like surprised. Like, just what day is it going to be is really the question. But it's happening. Anyways, it's happening tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. our time, 5 p.m. Zachy time. But
I get to see it before you. Haha.
You get to see it before us.
No, I'm 3 p.m. baby. I get it first.
Dang it. We need someone from Montana to do like the 4 p.m. version. But they're gonna have what do they say? They're gonna have it's gonna be only 30 minutes.
I love that they gave an exact number of games that were going to be there. It was like 14.
Yeah,
they've learned. It's a good thing to put out there.
There are 14 games and also PSVR 2.
Yeah.
which is really kind of the way the tweet
Nondescript PSVR 2
Yeah.
announcement.
Yeah, the announcement that they're going to be canceling PSVR 2. No, there's obviously a lot of rumors of stuff that's been popping up. You know, the Astrobot team was tweeting earlier, and there's obviously some games that have been announced over the last year or so, and now we're finally maybe going to see some of them. Like last year, we had that multiplayer game. I forget what the name of that was. That kind of heist multiplayer game.
Marathon.
Then and Marathon and
the Ubisoft one where they're stealing from rich people and they're like,
was that what it was?
Yeah.
So there's you know, then the Concorde, right? Named after a plane that did so well.
Yeah. Famously successful plane, the Concorde.
Famously successful plane. But and they might announce, you know, we're gonna get that PC adapter for the PSVR 2 because
that would be the goofiest fucking announcement. Just like hold up a dongle like it's a Zelda item.
That's the name of the episode. Hold up a dongle.
I'm sure they should.
Hold up a dongle.
Holds up dongle.
Yeah, it's weird because we don't know what's coming the rest of the year from Sony. We don't know what's coming at all in the future from Sony. Like there's those few games that aren't really registering on any radars, like Concorde, some of those, and no one's really saying, "Oh, cool, awesome! I got to buy a PS5 for that." Yeah. The PlayStation platform has kind of become the third party platform in a weird way. So, but yeah, it's tomorrow. And then, don't talk about my dongle like that.
This little white piece, this little white dongle is so tiny.
Your dongle. I like how it blurs, like your dongle's blurred.
No, for you, it's not a dongle, it's a dingle. Okay.
It's a dingle. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't dingle my dongle. But then, that kind of kicks off. Also, tomorrow we have that Silent Hill thing. We have we have the Gorilla Collective.
Give me the fucking visual novel fucking Silent Hill already. God damn.
Yeah, right. You got the Gorilla Collective. You got that. You got Summer Game Fest. They have the devs. You got the Devolver thing. You got the Future of Play, the Wholesome Direct. I'm looking at lists right now. You even have like
too much stuff.
Showcase, obviously. Yeah, Xbox Showcase, PC Gaming Show, Ubisoft Forward.
The PC gaming ones are always funny because it's just the rest of the stuff. Like
it really is. Yeah.
No, and it's like, okay, here's a third RTS, and we'll have the dev talk about it for 20 minutes about the economy that they're going for.
Here's six Russian guys to talk about their military shooter.
And ladies and gentlemen, Dave Autry to present his latest game. I love Dave.
It was always the funniest part of E3 because they put it in like a convenient location, so you're like, I should go to that. But then when you go, you're like, it's just
why did I go to this? Yeah. It's something I saw
but with an RTF, with an extended strategy section.
Yeah.
PC gamers only love RTS. It's funny because I was I'm not allowed to talk about too much, but they send you these invites for a Summer Game Fest, and I'm not a big RTS guy. And whenever there's like anything even remotely with the words tactical or strategy or whatever, or like that doesn't make me excited because I'm not a PC dude. And so I don't know what they're gonna have, but that's been my red flag is like.
I'm about to say, but you say tactical strategy and throw a fucked up looking rabbit in it, and Dally's.
You know what? Then all of a sudden, I am all about that. That's a good point. If there's a new Rabbids game, I will gladly take it.
If there's a new Fire Emblem game, Dolly's gonna look at Dolly's.
That's the rumor, right? One of the remakes. Yeah, they're remaking the very first Fire Emblem. But anyways, so there we go. State of Play happening tomorrow. We'll hopefully see something that comes of it. But I got news that is vitally important to JJ, and this is big gaming news, and that is Atari has acquired Intellivision. Tell me about this.
What's there to say? Atari bought the entirety of the Intellivision brand, including all of the stuff that they still owned. And the company that did own Intellivision, that was putting out the Amico, retains the Amico.
The
So,
Amico.
Atari ain't touching it. They're like, that's still on them to distribute the Amico. So that fucker's never coming out. But
yeah, it's like Intellivision Games is going to Atari, and then Intellivision Media is the other company, and they're retaining the Amico, and it's like, cool.
But they're rebranding the name. They're not going to be Intellivision anymore. That's
Yeah,
part of the that's part of the deal. It's going to be a
ColecoVision, Connecticut Leather Company.
Yeah, who owns Coleco now?
Yeah,
I have to look that up.
We should buy it. SideQuest thinks should buy Coleco. That's kind of funny. This was like
the face of Coleco. That'd be great.
One of the original console wars is like officially over. It's
this was like the original console war. Intellivision versus the VCS was it. It was a constant arms race to who could get the best arcade adaptation out on home hardware.
That's awesome.
I always liked Intellivision stuff more because I like Pitfall is one of the original Pitfalls, one of my favorite of its time arcade games, or not arcade games, but home games. Yeah, so I don't know. Cool. This just means I hope that means we get an Atari 50 set, but for Intellivision. Give Digital Eclipse the Intellivision. Give Digital Eclipse the Intellivision shit and just make a interactive documentary like they've been doing for everything, and just make one big Intellivision retrospective. That'd be cool. That's the best I could hope.
They should make a Console War 50 collection. Just call it the Console War,
or call it the first Console War or something.
The first Console War.
Because that way it doesn't imply that you're going to be getting NES and Genesis or SNES and Genesis games on this thing.
I like it. Speaking of war
never changes.
War changes. It changes all the time.
Whoever could have seen this coming.
Yeah.
Who could have seen the next a new Call of Duty?
It's been nothing but discourse for the last 3 months about if Call of Duty is going to come to Game Pass.
Exactly, and it is coming day one to Game Pass, which in the end is such a weird thing because is it the multiplayer? Is it wars? I don't even know. A single player mode. I'm bringing this up not for that aspect because we've kind of talked that to death, but for the leaning into the conspiracy theory shit, which is just in this climate, you're gonna go out. I think this was Bobby Kotick. One of his last things is we gotta make one where we're ripping on Bill Clinton.
It's gonna do the Far Cry thing where it's it seems on paper like they're going for something cool, but then when you play the game, it's oh, they're ballless.
yeah, exactly. Yep. It's
not going to be like Godzilla, where it's the Hollow Earth theory is real and it's fucked up, guys.
Well, they can't do anything cool because they're funded by the army. They're funded by our United States Army. So
if you imply for 2 seconds that the army is anything more than an altruistic force,
Yep. News that is fantastic. Speaking of game announcements and other things, news that is maybe specific to Zach and I because we are huge fans of this series, and that is Dragon Quest III HD 2D is apparently still alive, which I am fucking excited about. And apparently the leaks are saying that it's all they did was they just kind of posted this little video. It said this legacy begins, which is the Lodo legacy. We already knew there was Dragon Quest 3, yada yada. But the rumor is now from Midori and some other folks is that it's actually the full Dragon Quest 1 through 3 trilogy.
The NES saga.
The NES saga, which is a great. I think that would be fantastic. I wonder if it's all going to be on one cart or if it'll be separate games.
It's gonna be cool because I have absolutely no interest in playing Dragon Quest 1 even in a better format.
It's a 6-hour game, man. It's 6 hours, and I've destroyed that game in 6 hours.
But I will pay full price to play through a pretty version of 3. Sure.
Yeah. If they can fix 2, because I've been replaying through 2.
2 sucks, boo.
2 sucks, man. Yeah.
It does. It does. But 3 is fantastic. 3 is good. 3 is one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
3 is where 3 is where the franchise like figured out what they were.
Yes,
So,
yes,
like,
exactly.
it sets the stage for literally every Dragon Quest
Yep.
now. Like, yeah.
So I'd be excited. Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
them actually doing something with this because they never
Yeah.
remade. They've remade the first 3 games, but they've done so in incredibly poopy ways with the iOS Flash
Yeah.
level graphics, which just
Yeah.
internal. It just looks horrible.
Yeah,
It's
Newgrounds ass.
the Newgrounds ass visuals. So
And
yeah.
what's weird about that too is like they put like the DS ports of those games on the phone, and they're really good.
Yeah.
But then these, they're like, oh, I don't know, here's some shit. It's like, cool, thanks. You know?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I can't wait to see what like when they say HD 2D, like
with that.
what exactly they mean by HD 2D.
Well, the previous visuals looked like Octopath Traveler, right? Because they showed stuff that looked exactly like Octopath, which I'm totally cool with.
Which is
but
what I want. Like
that's what I want. But I'm curious to see how it'll work in drag because they haven't necessarily. I don't think they've remade games in HD 2D, right? They've made new games in HD 2D.
Yeah.
No, actually, let me take it back. The one they did Live Alive is what they remade it.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was
the test for this.
Maybe, yeah. And then the last thing that I mean, I am just fucking excited for this, and I know everybody purchased this already. The Lego Zelda.
Yeah.
I swear, the amount of folks that I saw that were saying bought it was incredible. This $300 monstrosity. I spoke to one of my coworkers who's a big Zelda nut, and we were talking about this thing. He's like, I bought it right away. And I'm like, did you buy one or did you buy 2? He's like, well, I bought one. I said, so which one are you going to build? And he had to take a second, and realize he's like, I don't know which one I'm going to build. So I said, you're going to have to buy a second one because you have to build both of these because they're unique enough and have different characters, different leaves and all that. I'm like, oh shit, I might have to buy a second one eventually.
Ocarina of Time, no question. That's the one I'm building. That's the one I'm happy with.
That's the better
right
one.
Here.
Yeah.
It's badass. I think they did an awesome job. For all the years that people have been submitting the creator or the creations things, it's like they finally got one that to go through, and I think it's only because Nintendo and Lego have been doing so much work. Now, what I really want is a Lego-ass Zelda game, like remake Link to the Past with Lego, like Lego Link to the Past. That would, or Lego, Oracle of Seasons or something. That'd be badass. Like, that'd be sweet.
See, you're gonna say this, but then the monkey's paw is gonna curl 3 times, and then what you're gonna end up getting is
exactly
a Lego Link side quest and Lego Fortnite.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. Yep. But no, it's pretty badass.
And I'm absolutely going to be putting Lego Link into Lego Dominic Toretto's Challenger.
Yes, where he belongs. Where he belongs. But
the little details are super cool.
They are. Yeah. They're so good. There's so many cool little things. Like
I always love to see when they have to like recreate like. How do you recreate the plants in Zelda plants? Like, I love that you get Link's house too. That's
yes,
so cute.
You get Navi up in there too, which is pretty dope. Because everyone hates Navi, but you get Koroks. You get Koroks in there.
Skulltula. I hope there's like one single gold Skulltula hidden somewhere in the set.
You know what? I hope this leads to. I can already tell they're gonna make like a castle Hyrule, like a Hyrule castle eventually, right? But I hope that just like they have to, but I hope that just like they made that amazing question mark block, I hope they make a treasure chest that opens up and it plays the do 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 tune. Because that would be freaking awesome.
I would love the treasure chest and have it have like also like. I don't know what would be in it, but you would like either rupees or fucking or the element
Lego
stones
rupees.
from
Ocarina. Or a Triforce. I mean, do some Triforce-ish thing in there. I don't know, but I'm digging it. I love this thing.
I wish they would have done like an actual Peach's Castle and not just the Mario game one. It's not quite the same. Like these ones, like they do this all the time. Like I've got the Home Alone house over here, and like the Ghostbusters firehouse, and the Disney World castle, and they're all little doll houses.
Okay.
And this one's the same way. It's like you flip it around, it's flat on the back, you flip it around, it's a multi-level doll house basically. Like,
oh yeah,
I want something with that detail.
I just picked up the bar door, and it's the same way.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, get Banjo-Kazooie and put him in this.
Oh yeah,
Lego Banjo-Kazooie. That would be cool to get, like, so.
It's gonna be great with the Lego Horizon.
Yeah. I almost bought the Mega Bloks Xbox 360 the other day.
That was bad. That's still floating around, right?
It's still floating around. You can still get it at Target.
Yeah.
It's hideous. They didn't really do a particularly great job on it, but that doesn't matter to me. I've got the Lego Atari. I've got the Lego NES. Now I need the Lego Xbox 360. Not Lego.
It's true. We got to the Mega Block. That is one thing. Like, this is for adults, right? So they're definitely not things for kids. So it's definitely geared towards us geeks that just want to collect the shit.
Yeah.
JJ, I've never
seen. Go ahead.
This Xbox 360 before, and this looks like a Temu ad.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, no, it's terrible, and I love everything about it.
It's so good.
Have y'all seen those Temu PlayStation 5s that are like really tiny, like this big?
And it's just an NES on a chip.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to share this real quick. Where is this?
I wonder if you could see him from here, but you see my little pixel Pokemon on the wall?
Oh, yeah.
Those are
cool. Yeah.
Those are cool.
They're cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're just little.
Oh, are those the nanoblock ones? Like the little tiny. Oh, no, those.
Yeah.
Those ones, okay.
And they come, and the brick puller is designed to be a mount so you can stick them to your wall.
Oh, dude. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, here's the Xbox.
Look at this fucking.
Look at the controller.
Halo 3 is so good.
Halo 3. Of all the Halos, you choose Halo 3.
I mean, it's the game for the 360.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like, the only other game that would have made sense would have been like Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Dead Rising 1.
Yeah.
Dead Rising 1 versus 100. Oh, it's even got a little like controller stand.
Yeah,
you probably use that controller stand for an actual controller.
Actual 360 controller. I love that the controller looks nothing like a 360 controller.
Yeah, right.
It looks like it's like a.
Look at this. This is the exploded view. Like the exploded view we always see in like marketing materials for the 360 for like game controllers.
Fucking games, like the games. It's got the GameStop logo on it. That's what. Fucking.
It's got the shitty
plus pack
on there. Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
You can open it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. It's got a hard drive.
Actually has a disc in the game case. Like,
is it actually Halo 3?
Yeah, it's it comes with an actual copy of Halo 3.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Oh, good times.
Yeah.
Good job, Tel. Look at that. Holy cow.
Low res Halo 3.
the rating on it, it has a little special brick rating on the on the box.
Oh yeah. 18 plus. Amazing.
Also, I do like that the box that it comes in is like a replica of the original 360 box.
Yeah, that is kind of.
That's actually a really nice touch.
That's cool. Yeah, it might be worth the purchase for me. How much is this bad boy?
150.
150.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah, I could probably just do this and be like, 150.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's get into some of the games that we're playing, and then we're going to do some quick predictions for the upcoming gaming season. I want to start with, let's start with JJ, because JJ, you've reviewed a very important religious game. You're a very religious person.
Very religious. Everyone knows me and my boy Jesus. He's there for me. Indika. I don't know what to say about this game. It's like late 19th century, early 20th century Russia. Like alternate history Russia too. You are a nun named Indika. And fucking everybody hates your guts, man. You start off like at the monastery, and everyone's just like
What?
you're like, get the fuck away from us. Go do these menial things. There's this one, like, early on in the game, you have to do this thing where you're like filling a whiskey barrel with water, basically, from like pumping it like bucket at a time from a well to this barrel, and you're just walking back and forth like 10 times. And you don't have it. They haven't unlocked run yet, so but basically, like, people kind of don't like her for, like, and they shouldn't. She's off kilter. The theme of this is, throughout the game, Satan is talking to you the entire time. He's having an internal monologue in your head, and she's hallucinating things. And at a point, they just kind of send her off on a mission to deliver a letter. That letter right there, actually. And so that sort of becomes the game. You're walking to deliver this letter, and you've come across, I forget what his name is. Ilya is that guy that they showed with the gun and everything. He's a wounded soldier. He's got his arm has got gangrene. Yeah, you're dealing with that. So it becomes sort of like a buddy walking sim for most of it, as you're like trying to like get him, because he wants to get a holy miracle to cure his arm, kind of thing. So like, you just kind of come with him. You'll see there's an upgrade tree on there. So like, when you do things like pray over a dead body, or light candles that you find in rooms, and like do various find religious artifacts or whatever, like religious texts or whatever, you get these things, and you can use them to like upgrade things. But like, there's no combat in the game, and there's really no skills, so it's all pointless. Like, it's like, in a sense, like, it's all just like it's just busy work. Like, it's her doing her godly duties, kind of thing. That's where things start to kind of like become wild, because you're constantly like, when you're doing some of this stuff on this mission, she starts having thoughts of her own, and when she starts having those thoughts, Satan starts interacting with her. Like, you start having like a deep conversation with Satan about like what makes something right and what makes something wrong. Like, should she read the letter? And she's like, no, that's wrong. And Satan's like, well, what makes it wrong? Like, so why not just like not deliver the letter? And he was like, well, that's just as bad. It's like, well, what's the scale here? So like, if you like if that's twice as bad, then not delivering 1,000 letters is equal to murdering one person. So a mailman loses a sack of letters, he should be hung. And like, you know, you start having these like Satan is talking to you, and you're like having like, oh, the man makes a decent point. Like, and there becomes like, there's certain puzzles. It happens a couple of times in the game where the voice of Satan gets to where it turns red there for a second in the trailer. The voice of Satan becomes too loud and starts like demeaning you. So in order to do that, you have to hold down the prayer button to normalize everything, to silence the Satan in your head.
Press X to prayer.
Yeah, but you also have to like let that happen too, because it changes the room. So like, there's a puzzle there. It's like, you have to like, to get across, you have to let Satan like berate you for a while, and then you go back into the prayer to normalize the room until you kind of get out of there. It has a lot to say about religion. It keeps going and going, man. It's this is an A24 movie turned video game. Like, everything about it is movie. There's not really like, the game is strictly walking and solving puzzles. There's no combat. You can die. There's like a fucked up dog that chases you at certain points in this game, man. And all of the flashbacks are done in like a different 2D game style. So like when you're learning about Indika's past, it does a different type of like indie 2D gameplay. Like sometimes it's a platformer, sometimes it's a Mega Man style game. At one point it's like a Frogger-esque game, or like a super sprint style game.
Oh, so those are sort of related to her past.
Yeah, everything that's one of those 2D games that you see on there is flashbacks learning about her past with her father.
Okay.
And it just like it sort of loses steam in terms of like playing the game towards the end, because it's not much of a game, but like it kept me going. I wanted to know how this thing ended. It keeps getting progressively like weirder towards the end. Like you start looking at things and you're like, wait a minute, what the is that just like a giant fish? Inexplicably, but like but it's a cool game. It really like there's not much to it, but the story is just like dope. Like this jumped up in like a contender for like one of my favorites that I've played this year so far. And everything that seems useless kind of has a purpose in the end, like kind of thing. So and it really is just a woman struggling with who she is, like with the decisions, what choices she's made up to this point, what her past led her to, her leading to the monastery and where that goes. It's cool. It's like you could tell it's a Russian game, but like, and it has a lot of that Russian storytelling and aesthetic going for it. So I recommend it. It's only like 2.5 hours long.
Perfect length for someone like me.
Yeah.
11-bit does these cool games that kind of focus on, Eastern Europe and parts of the world. Yeah,
and this is the kind of thing that I think Druckmann wants to make. Like, because like it's a good story. It's a genuinely good story, and the gameplay that's there benefits the story. Which has just never been his strong suit, although he thinks it is. Like, so yeah. And it's surprisingly, for something that's so small, like it looks really good. The animations are really cool. It's not like perfect. It feels stop motion at times. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Very and that's cool. Not just performance on my end. I've made sure of that.
You playing anything else for review, or is that it that you want?
No, I just been playing other stuff for fun. No,
okay. Yeah. All right. We'll get into some review stuff. By the way, I will say shout out to we have a couple new subscribers. One is Quest, really weird. The other new subscriber, shout out to Big Red 420.
Yeah,
new subscriber, and that's
Tom.
I love it. Well, the red room there, Tom in the red room.
Dark web Tom over here.
Yeah. Dark web. Free Tom. Okay, we got speaking of Zach, Mr. Quest, you've been reviewing some stuff, and which one would you like to start with?
Let's do the two easy ones. So Dread Delusion and Wizardry. Let's do Wizardry first, because that one's simple.
Okay.
Yeah, so context for this game is it's a remake of the first game that came out forever ago on the Apple PC, like 98 or whatever. And yeah, so this is like the granddaddy game that inspired Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. So it has a lot of weight to it. It's like you're playing this game, you can see, oh yeah, this is where this came from for Dragon Quest. This is where this came from for whatever, So if you're interested in like game history, I think the game's really cool just for that fact. But also it's just a super solid dungeon crawler, because I mean it is the original one. But what makes this one so special, I think, is it makes it a approachable for a new player who's never played a super hard dungeon crawler, right? So what they've done with it is they've essentially combined all versions of this game, like the original PC version, the SNES version, and then a new modern version. So you have 3 different versions of the game, and you can toggle and add different like things to it. So if you want to just play a modern version, you can, or you can play a mix and match version of the original and the SNES version and the modern one. So they have all these different like permutations that you can add to difficulty level, what you lose on death, and all these things. So I mean, it's a definite buy if you're into these sort of things, or if you have like $35 laying around, you want to be like, oh yeah, I want to try Wizardry for whatever reason, then you can play it. But it's definitely a labor of love kind of game. It's not a game that's going to sell a lot. It's not a game that's like out to make a statement. It's just like, yeah, let's remake this really cool game that everybody who's a game designer loves, you know? So yeah, it's solid. It's the original game from top to bottom, with modern graphics and sensibilities in some places. It's still pretty harsh and hard and all that.
They use like original code as the backbone.
Like original code is running in the background at all times on this version.
You can pull up the old interface at any time to see what it looks like, which is really cool. So that's just kind of how it looks at all times, with the old game in the bottom right and the modern one in the center. You can also customize all your characters, put custom portraits in there, whatever. It's a must buy if you're into this sort of game.
It's digital eclipse, so it's like its existence is there to be preservation. But also like give you something to actually like enjoy too. They do that all the time. They're like, we've also got a modern version thrown in there. It's like, remember that Blizzard collection that they did? Like they did the same thing where it's like, oh, we put like Lost Vikings on here like 4 different times, but we also like mashed together the SNES and Genesis version to give the best features of those 2 different versions in it and stuff. And they did the same thing with this. It's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's just it's bare bones kind of in a modern sensibility, but if you know what it is, there's depth to it. So yeah,
it's still like 40 plus hours, right? You can still get that chunky amount of gameplay out of this,
and you can make it as hard or as easy as you want to. So it's just it's crazy. And you can play it with a controller, which is nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then Dread Delusion is the next game. Another game, since this game isn't a game that inspired many games, but it's a game that's inspired by 2 very specific games. It's inspired by Kingsfield and Morrowind. It's a very if you've played those games, you kind of know what to expect here. It's a very like opaque, esoteric kind of first person.
Esoteric? How?
Yeah. It's just like, what's really cool is it's like you walk around and talk to people and you have to find your way around this kind of messed up world. It's a world that's been separated by gods and like wars and stuff. And there's all these different islands separating it. And you kind of start at the bottom. You're this like religious prisoner who is just trying, you're part of a prison gang, and they're basically like, hey, like we need your help to do this. They're kind of like the chosen one sort of like trope. You eventually get a ship where you can go explore all the other islands. There's just a lot in here. It's very fun if you like those RPGs where it's like, hey, go find this guy. He's camping in a red tent, and you're like, okay. Let me go find them. Like, if you like those types of games, like Morrowind, Kingsfield, Dark Souls, maybe, definitely check it out. It's like $20, made by like 2 guys, I think, maybe 3. It's super sick.
It's definitely got like that, obviously that nostalgic.
Yeah, that PlayStation.
Modern, that a lot of people are really into, and I think that looks great with just beautiful. You can't tell in this trailer, through the stream, but it looks great in like 60 FPS and just gorgeous.
Yeah, and you can alter that where it's not as jaggedy or like where the textures aren't like displaced and stuff like they were on the PlayStation 1. There's an option to turn that on and off, which is pretty cool. It's like oh no, actually the models will stay together actually now. So you can turn that on if you want to, which I think is neat. But yeah, it's a game for those types of people. Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, it's like, what if Kingsfield is a name that means anything to you, like
oh yeah, it's one of those games that you got to grind and walk around and explore, and you don't die a lot, which I think is cool.
Double time.
So yeah, but it's great. Check it out. It's also really good on the Steam Deck. It plays really well on a controller.
Nice.
So. But yeah, now we'll go into the big one.
This is what we've been waiting for. This is why we all showed up.
Let's see.
When Zach says he has a slideshow, when he has just love. I do hang out. But JC, but like the little person that hung out with Kid Rock, not.
Let me get to the right screen first. Okay.
PowerPoint.
Share.
PowerPoint.
And add to stage and bam.
Okay, so this game, this is like something I really want the devs to watch. So I think I think there's some important lessons here that they didn't learn in this 3-year development of their. So Screenplay is an independently developed collectible card game with like really big like dreams that wants to become a competitive game. What is sad about it is I don't think they did the right amount of work to get there. I'll show you guys my stuff later. But yeah, so we'll just talk about how it plays and kind of the backdrop. I guess I should also give credentials since I want the devs to like check this out. I play a lot of card games. I play ranked in like Hearthstone. I'm a platinum player. I've reached diamond in Magic. I've reached masters in Runeterra. Like I used to make money writing card guides for games. I have reached infinite rank and Marvel Snap. Like these are the types of games that I love. Like I'm really in tune with this scene and these types of games. So this is something that I was generally interested in because I kept seeing it pop up. I kept seeing it be like, oh, could this game be the next big thing? Blah, blah, blah. So I always kind of kept it in the back of my mind. So when I got the press email, like, hey, do you want a review code for Screenplay, the new collectible card game from whatever? I was like, yeah, I'll play it, sure. And then when you play the game, you go through the tutorial. It introduces these mechanics that kind of trip over themselves. There's a lot of mechanics from other games in here that I feel like don't inherently work with their core mechanics. So the core mechanic in this is you have stars, basically like 4 heroes on your team that you have to play, and each hero has their own goal that associates with that. So once you complete that actor's goal, they get off your board, you put in a new one, and you keep going. So that's just kind of the thing they want you to do, like put a guy on the field, hit a guy five times, that guy hits his star limit or whatever, then he's gone, right? So that is the inherent kind of flip. But what's cool, I'll give them this. Their mana system is cool. I'll show you guys it over here. So their mana system is called frames. They have these frames up here at the top. You start out with 5 frames, you and your opponent. So what you do is you and your opponent play at the same time. So like I would play, this guy, and he would. So each play has like a frame cost up here. To attack cost 2, to dodge, which is another thing, cost 2. and then some of them have activated effects, right? So the way it works is like you pass priority back and forth. So like I have defense, they have the offense. So their play starts from the left and goes to the right. So their frames play from like here, and then it would go to me, and then it would go to them, then it would go to me. So, but then if it was my turn, it would be me, them, me, them. So you kind of have to think, I'm on the aggressive side, I have to do this versus them, right? So that's cool. I think playing the game at the same time as your opponent and having this like a shared mana pool essentially is really neat. It's a really fun kind of back and forth, but the mechanics of the cards is where the issue kind of gets in the way, and also also just the way the game looks, I think, is pretty not good, and kind of the theme is also another thing. But you essentially have to sit here and play, go back and forth, like I hit, you hit, and then it's like back and forth, right? But once you hit a card, they go on cooldown. So you see that this alligator guy, he probably got hit, so he's on a cooldown for 2 turns. So he can't do anything. So then you have to be like, okay, I have to play more cards because this guy can't attack, but then you only have a reserved amount that you can use. So the games go very long. They're very slow because you have to manage this, right? Okay, this guy gets hit, I have to wait 2. This guy gets hit, I have to wait. Oh, this guy died, I have to wait. Or put a guy out. So you have like, you flood your board, and it's just kind of like a back and forth of who can finally achieve their character goals, right? So it's the mechanic of leveling up your guys to win is kind of secondary to fighting, right? Like, yeah, you can hit a guy and pause him from hitting your champ or from hitting a card, but really you're just kind of waiting on these timers essentially over and over again. So the back and forth is just it's not fun. It's not like a fun thing to go back and forth. And then they have this dodge mechanic, which I think is the smartest thing besides the frames in their game. You can like target your own character, and that activates a dodge. So instead of them losing their turns for however long, they'll dodge the attack. But how do you can't read a player of who they're going to hit, right? So if you dodge your own dude that you think they're going to hit, and they hit somebody else, who's kind of wasted that, right? So like that feels bad if you can't read that. And they have certain cards where it's like this card will hit the leftmost card on your board. So okay, so I can read that, and I know what's going to happen. But then they have other things they could attack with too, so it's just like there's a lot of managing that you have to do on top of this core mechanic. That it's just like a constant clash because the game is just so slow, and it's weird to me that that they didn't focus on the dodge mechanic and their frame mechanic, and then add all these other things from other games, like champs from League. Like League has this thing, and then the Digimon card game has this as well, but in a different way. So it's like it's not really like the same thing, but they just take all these other things from other games, kind of mesh it together, and just doesn't really work. And it's a frustrating thing because I feel like in the testing phase they should have caught it. Like there should have been a moment where a person was like, "Hey, like this isn't fun." And like I don't feel like I'm missing anything either because I've tried to like play this game with other people and I can't find people to play with, right? Like that's just the other thing.
Wow.
Like there's like maybe 20 people who have ever played this game at once. There's like a Discord with people that play like 1 or 2 games a day. It's like I want to play this with like real people, but I can't. I have to play against bots, So it's crazy because I feel like if a game was able to develop, the meta would change, and there would be cards and things where people would figure out better ways to like manage a deck or manage a system. And it's just not there. And I think it's weird. So my biggest thing, I think, besides all of that, is it's like it's an indie game, but it lacks that indie like edge, that indie like why is there a reason we couldn't get this funded by another company, right? Like it's probably because the idea is bad, but it's also probably because like there isn't anything there. Like, and I think it's sad that they had to lean into this kind of like pop culture idea for cards. It's like it feels like all the cards are like references to movies. So like Steven Spielberg or like the Terminator or whatever. Like they're just references. So it's like you're hit with these Reddit memes constantly. And then you're also like, oh yeah, that's Donald Trump on the other board. That's supposed to be funny, but it's not funny. It's like, okay, like yeah, there's a Trump card, which is like, oh, okay, like I get it, but it's just weird having to use pop culture and thinking this will get people to play the game. Like this is going to make people want to play our game because it's funny and it's crazy, but it's like it's not. It's like it's just a weird niche. Like this like weird Hollywood history thing is like not something most people are into.
Yeah,
and if they look at it and they're like that looks cool, they're not the type of person that should be playing this type of game.
I always have a problem when it comes to like people doing like movie based something when they're just like they like movies, they don't understand movies.
Yeah.
Like there's a world of difference between like knowing what a movie is and just like I just really like movies, like and like this has that like, oh, they just like movies, so let's just make reference.
Is the Penguin doing a Michael Jackson thing? Is this doing music videos too?
Yeah. It's like every pop culture thing ever. It's like you're scrolling Reddit. That's what it is. It's like you're scrolling the AI forums on Reddit because almost all the cards are AI art. By the way,
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Okay.
The devs have said they're placeholder, but I don't think they're ever going to get to where they can
change them
real. So it's like, okay, you use AI art. Okay. So it's like there's that, and it's like, oh yeah, Penguin doing Michael Jackson pose. Like that's not. How is that funny? It's not funny. It's like it's just like.
How does that play into what that card does? Does it?
Right. I mean, there's one that's like a rapper themed shark named named after Jay-Z, maybe. I don't know. But there's this mechanic called performing where you can spotlight a character, and if they have a performance on their card, they can do something else. Like one of them's like perform once and you'll increase the attack of another card. Like, so if you perform enough, your Jay-Z shark will start rapping and be like, start saying like shark themed quips and rap them. It's like, okay, cool. And then like the Trump card is like, I think this is the best card game of all time. Like doing a Trump impression is like, okay. Like it doesn't have an identity, which I think is a huge issue. But yeah, that is kind of where like my game critique ends. And then now like my kind of marketing producer game dev brain comes in, where I come at it from this angle, where I look at like, okay, I go on YouTube, I look up Screenplay CCG, and it's like, okay, I sorted by most views. The most views they had on a trailer 10 months ago was 48,000 views. So that tells me not enough marketing, not enough outreach. You're doing something wrong, right? I go and look at Regis Kilbin, this guy who made, a video about it. I played a crazy, unique new card game, and then I'm like, okay, did he ever play it again? I go and look. He played it once. It's like, okay, so something is happening here. If I was on the dev team, I'd be scrambling. I'd be like, this isn't working. Like, what are we doing wrong? But at this point, it's too late to turn around. You're 5 months out from launching, right? So I'm like, okay, let's look at Reddit. Let's see what Reddit is saying. And then I go to the Reddit. They got 35 members. The only guy posting in there is a dev. So I'm like, okay, so they should have known something was off a couple years ago, maybe. Interesting. And then I go into Google mode. I'm like, okay, let's Google Reddit screenplay CCG, and I played a crazy unique new card game. This is that YouTube video that guy linking here, and this is the devs talking about it. For 3 years, we've been creating a digital card game, blah blah blah. So there should have been a point at year 2 where they're like, okay, we need to scramble and think about something else, because there's just no traction on any of these. So I'm like, okay, how did they get this far? Like, what are they doing? And then I think, I had a PR release. How did they afford a PR team to like reach out? So I'm like, there's no marketing, there's nothing besides a PR thing. So I'm like, okay, there's something weird happening here. I don't get it. And I go into Discord, and I'm like, how's the player base of the game looking? And then a community like mod. He's not a community manager. They don't have one, by the way, or a marketing guy. I checked their team. They don't have the marketing guy. They say small but dedicated. If you want to ensure you get a game, just post and find players. So you can't use the game to find a game. You have to go in this Discord and say, yeah. Then I go, awesome. And then I go in here.
He said facetiously.
And then it's like 2 people playing back and forth. And this is like two hours in this find players chat right here. I'm like, they had to, like, there has to have been a moment where the team was like, this, we need to like rethink this.
Our food section on SideQuesting has more posts within a 2 hour.
Yeah. And then I go over here and I'll look again in queue if anyone wants a game. Thanks for the best out of 3. Gotta go now. GG.
Do they have any Discord unique specific emojis at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, let me check the day after, right? And then it's like, oh, it's the same guy playing with the same guy. And then someone posts in queue. And then they have 104 people in their Discord. So it's like it's
all people that were on the press blast,
or just people who have found the game. But it's like, if the game was in testing and it was at this amount, I would understand that, right? This makes sense. But if the game's out and you have this in your Discord and you have this to actually have to find a game, there is a step you missed.
Yeah.
From not marketing the game, from not finding that niche audience and just marketing to them. And it's sad. And it's also like you kind of made your bed and laid in it too. And yeah, so if the devs watch this, I want you to succeed. And I think the best way for you to do that is by removing all these other weird mechanics, focus on the dodge mechanic, make the game more aggro, and focus around that kind of counterplay back and forth. I think that would work. But that would require you to go back to the drawing board. But we have seen games bounce back from really horrible launches and all these things. So it's a possible thing to do. I don't think expanding more and trying to find other archetypes, other gameplay modes is the smart way to do it. I think focusing on your unique mechanic of dodging and leveling up your stars and just kind of focusing on a more aggressive gameplay would probably help you in the long run. And then you can add more stall and control type decks, which is kind of what the game is. But yeah, that's all I got for that one. Wow. It's a very interesting couple weeks I've had with this game, trying to actually enjoy it, and I just can't.
That's insane.
But
yeah. That's a fantastic presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Bars above.
I had no idea what to expect when you said you had a PowerPoint.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's
storytelling.
Like that's my thing. If I can't put my ideas out there, I just put it into PowerPoint. They also have this script over here. It's like 1,000 words that I wrote.
Wow. Let's go to Tom. Tom, what have you been playing recently?
All I've been playing is what's the new Star Wars game? The newer Jedi Fallen Order? Is it Survivor?
Jedi Survivor.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor. Okay.
That's the one I played because that's on Game Pass now because it's on EA Play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I check that out, and I'm like 2 hours into that, 3 hours into that. I just got to the point where it's like we're showing you the stuff in the trailer that there's a bad Jedi, and he's from they're getting into like what is it, High Republic era stuff, which is very cool because
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I feel like there's not been a ton of that stuff
Yeah.
yet. I know that book is like still relatively new.
Sure.
They're still making. Yeah, there's like an ongoing comic series and several books. That's it.
Yeah. So like I remember checking out like that High Republic book when it like I think it was just called High Republic when it came out.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really checked in on that like part of the lore since. So like it's cool that we're seeing it in the game. It looks really good, and they're doing the basic. They did the basic updates that you would do for a sequel like that, right? Like the Assassin's Creed 2 that game, where it's like, okay, we're gonna make traversal easier. We're going to give you more customization options and like a bunch of stances. It looks like so.
Yeah, they give you several.
Good.
Yeah, and then they introduce a like central hub world.
Yeah. So
I beat that game.
It.
That was one of my favorite games. I think that was on my like when we did our Game of the Year stuff. I think that was in one of my. I just liked it. It's just fun. It's just got some good Star Wars bullshit going on. So.
Yeah, like I just wanted like something I could just like tune out and just play. Like I'm like, okay, I need like an open world like kind of adventure game, or kind of open world adventure game. This like fits that. Like I don't want too many options, but don't want to feel like I'm running down a hallway. And I'm enjoying it so far. I'm gonna keep playing it.
Nice.
Like it's.
Yeah. I made my guy look like a complete and total sleazeball. He's got a greasy mullet, a handlebar mustache. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's cool so far. I like that first one a lot. That first one was like one of my favorite games that year. So
okay,
excited to see where this one goes.
Sweet. As for me, Rusties, man, I cleared up all the Rusties. I got every achievement in that game. I'm done, Rusty. I like it because you can just leave it on in the background, and it takes care of everything. And then once you get the hook, you can clear out. You can basically just spend like one day, like 3 hours, 4 hours, and really kind of nail the play session and go through there. But beyond Rusties, I played. I'm still plugging through Prince of Persia a lot. Was it The Lost Crown, or whatever that is? That game's so freaking good. That's a fantastic.
It's super cool.
Circle back to me after you're done because there's something I want to talk about for just a minute.
Yeah, and so I'm playing that, and I'm really enjoying it. Oh, I know which game you're talking about. I know which game you're going to talk about. And then, I'm playing on a Switch, and it runs really well on Switch, and I like playing games in handheld lately. So, any portable platform, if I can sit on my couch and hang out with the family, especially when like the weather's nice. Like when the weather's really nice, the last thing I want to do is be in front of like a hot computer. Like I want to be leaning back somewhere. I want to be closer to a window or closer to like an open room if I can. So being able to play handheld like on Steam Deck or Switch, I think is perfect. And then with the rumors of a new Doom game coming, I'm like, I never finished Doom Eternal, and so I hop back into Doom Eternal. And that's a really good game, except that it only takes place in monster rooms. It's like, all right, cool, let's get into the next room.
No,
I have to clear. What's that?
It needs to take place in monster rooms. Because then you need to use all the abilities. Because if you're playing that game right, it's Tony Hawk, and you are just comboing things and
you're just flipping shit around a room.
Yeah, you're bouncing around a room. I like that you called it Tony Hawk. I love that
the
you
room
can bounce
isn't
around
full of monsters. You're not chaining.
Yeah, but I just wish there were more like. You get these like long sections of traversal, and then it's like monster room, and then long section of traversal, and then like I just finished. Mars Core, which is like one of the last few areas, and that's like you can just bounce all the way like for like 5 minutes or so. You're kind of clearing a path, and then you get into the monster room, and you don't know where the door opens. If you clear out all the monsters, it's like I get it. I just wish there was a little bit of a different hook to it. Like I don't mind. I don't mind doing the Tony Hawk ass shit. I think that's cool and it's fun. I just wish that
we all just want you to know, Dally, that you're wrong.
That I'm playing
what,
all three of us.
That's what Doom is. It's just a monster room game. That's
I
all.
like Doom 2016. I think a little bit more. Yeah, it's true. That is true. That's true. So, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm still really liking it. I figured I'm gonna get back into it, and I'm playing it on the Switch, so it's slimy, but I got it for like next to nothing.
It's surprisingly cromulent on the Switch.
Yeah, there it is. It works. It works on the Switch. I'm not buying any of the DLC that was it Ancient Gods or whatever, but
it's like
there's more. There's more exploration and exploring and stuff in that. So you can have
the game you want is in the DLC
if you want.
Oh, okay. But yeah, anyways, it's good. It's good. And that's what I've been playing. And then JJ, you said you had one more thing.
Yeah, it just reminded me when you said you were playing Prince of Persia that I got a review code for the Rogue Prince of Persia for
the early access
of it. There's not much to say. I haven't really delved super deep in it. Just launched like Friday, I think, or Monday.
Something like that.
I don't know. It got delayed. It was supposed to come out like May 14th, but it came out like 2 weeks later, whatever. It's beautiful looking. I love the art style and the animation of it. It's a really thin roguelike. It is like you have like it's just a cross section of the game right now. It's like the first three like areas kind of thing. And it's Dead Cells. You could tell you could see the Dead Cells inspiration from the team. It's work your way through. You have two weapons. You've got a ranged weapon and your melee weapon, and all of your cool traversal stuff. You can wall run and stuff like that. And like you get like skills along the way. Like you can do this thing where, okay, so you have a move. The some enemies are shielded. You have to do a downwards attack to break the shield, or you have to kick an unshielded opponent into a shielded opponent to break the shield. But then like you can get like boosts to that, which will like when you hit a kick or a downward, it adds like a sticky effect. So it creates like a snail trail of goo that kind of slows them down too when you do a kick or a downward attack or an upward attack. There's like you have 4 different slots of buffs that you get throughout the thing. And just like with anything, you die, it sends you back to the beginning. With, there are certain things that you can collect that are permanent buffs, like certain things that let you upgrade certain things. And there's like a store at the beginning. It's very Rogue Legacy in that sense. And yeah, you just kind of, it's randomized. The levels are randomized. So you just work your way through it till you get to the boss fight. And eventually you'll beat the boss. You'll have upgraded enough and have mastered the controls enough. But it's not like, it's not super deep. Like the weapons are all very, like, you get a sword, you get a fucking axe, you get a twin blades or a spear, and like you get varying different like projectile weapons across a bow or a glaive or whatever. And it's just like, it's hard to judge like if this is what the game's going to be in its entirety. No. If this is just like, this is early access, it's going to open up more and more as time goes by, and we're going to be adding new things and stuff, then yeah, as it stands right now, it's just perfectly fine. It's not great. I think the actual Prince of Persia game, obviously, that just recently came out, it's the better of the two, but it's a unique enough twist on Prince of Persia as it is right now that like I'm going to be I will be actively paying attention to it when the next update hits, whatever it ends up being. I'm going to check it out to see if anything's changed significantly or not. But as far as like roguelite goes, it's emphasis on the light part of it right now. So it's mostly just, it's hard, you'll die, and you'll have to redo the levels again. Like that's just kind of the state that it's in right now.
All right. Yeah. And that's coming out sometime this year.
Yeah, it's an early access, so yeah. I don't know when. I don't think they've officially announced when they expect it to be like 1.0,
Sure.
but yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's it.
Yeah.
We rocked it. A little over an
Yeah.
hour, but that's totes fine. Look at it. I got lists of stuff that we covered here, but I mentioned
Oh,
that
God
we're
damn
gonna
it!
do some
I thought we lucked out. I thought you
quick
forgot.
predictions. Quick predictions. Usually, we used to do these annual E3 predictions, and that's kind of difficult right now. But I did want to throw the question out there of over the next couple 3 weeks here with all the showcases and stuff. I'm curious to see what you guys think will be a surprise announcement, and then one, maybe something that you really hope is going to be announced. Like we know that Doom Dark Ages, like I said, I'm playing Doom right now because of Doom Dark Ages.
Yeah.
I'd be all in for that. I'd be all in for the Astrobot
Yeah,
game.
Astrobot, yeah. I really do hope that we like at some point they announce like a Doom for one of the other like dead FPS franchises, let's get a fucking Quake,
Hexen.
something. Yeah.
I still think Metroid Prime 4 is getting announced this year. Getting re-announced.
Getting released this year.
Getting released this year. Thank you for the current Switch.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you guys? What any
Scalebound is
ideas?
back, baby.
Scalebound time.
Oh,
Microsoft needs something
more than ever.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man 2 DLC, story DLC.
Okay. You think we'll get any Wolverine notes this year or Kingdom Hearts 4?
I don't think
that game's already out.
Wolverine, it's a
the Wolverine
TV
game's
series.
already out.
Yeah.
No, I can play it.
What about Kingdom Hearts 4? Zach, you think we'll get any Kingdom Hearts 4 updates?
There's been leaks recently. I've been avoiding them, so I think something is coming. So
I haven't been avoiding them, so yes, I do think Kingdom Hearts 4 will be
I mean, the Dragon Quest 3, that one, bring it. That's supposedly at the Nintendo Direct.
We're getting into the JJ wheelhouse a little differently, independent from video game part. There's been way more talk about Kingdom Hearts something else, like
interesting
animated stuff, like
Disney,
that was a thing years ago. That kind of when Disney Plus was launching, there was a lot of talk about that in the Disney circles, and that talk is back up at height. Here's
a question for you. In the olden days, in the before times, we used to have a bajillion Kingdom Hearts spin-offs, and we haven't had any. We had the music game, but that's basically it. Do you guys think we'll see any real Kingdom Hearts spin-offs coming up soon, or?
I think the problem with that kind of thing is that the consoles where those happen don't exist anymore. So in order to do a spin-off, you kind of have to make a console game to be a spin-off instead of.
And also, just my as a Kingdom Hearts nerd, also the first story arc is already finished, so they really need a new game to kick off anything new.
Yeah, there's no anything to spin off right now.
And also all that stuff, all the extra side game stuff was just turned into mobile games. There's been multiple games on the phone the last couple of years that have
that's right there. Tom, you were going to say something. Was that similar to what you were going to
I'm just going to say also I didn't see as many people give a shit when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. That game was made for me, right? That game was when I'm like, how you make a sequel 13 years after it? Who is it for? Me. That's who it's for. The idiot who played the other 10 of them to understand this thing, who played the mobile game. And then I finished it and I went, and I moved on to something else.
Yeah.
And then they put out apparently their final mix version. And I didn't even realize that until this week.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because they announced it for Steam.
Yeah, that's what I heard about it.
It's been on the Epic because it was on the Epic Game Store, and nobody gives a shit about the Epic Game Store
except for the free games. For the free games. What else do you guys think will be maybe announced
today?
Oh yeah, there you go. I hop on there, download the free game.
I hope
Satisfactory save lists.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get another Nier
What
thing
else we got?
probably announced
Near adjacent game.
because Yoko Taro's been teasing a bit.
Okay.
It could be
The
a
wine, Near
Drakengard.
wine.
That
yeah,
it could be a Drakengard game.
Oh, Drakengard would be
to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's what I was thinking. Like,
That could be cool.
I mean, we're getting something Alan Wake. Like,
Yeah, that's been teased
they-
all of a
they-
sudden.
they-
Yeah,
with
DLC or something.
with
or...
Remedy doing the poison pills thing,
Mhm.
something's coming for Alan Wake. I don't know what that is, but something's coming.
Mr. Scratch DLC.
Yeah. It's sad without having the voice actor dead for nowadays.
Oh yeah, the Max Payne guy. Yeah.
So I don't know what
see.
the Max Payne remake ends up being without him. I'm kind of anxious.
Oh,
Here's my crazy prediction. I don't know if it's crazy or not, but the PSVR title they're going to announce for PC will be the Horizon VR game.
Yeah, ooh.
Okay.
That's
And
gonna
that'll be the
you
one
can
game.
play it on your PC, and that'll be the one game.
Yeah.
So someone will actually play this game.
I don't know, like, I don't think that, like, what else is PSVR 2, like, Sony lockdown exclusive? Like, I don't know anymore.
That dinosaur farming game I've been wanting to play forever.
And, like, the Resident Evil 8 VR shit.
We're at the point right now with VR that people are just trying to put games onto any VR platform possible to try to recoup development and costs. And
I hope we get Death Stranding 2 stuff.
Death Stranding
like
2.
maybe maybe a reveal, like a date for it to come out. I don't want to see any gameplay. He normally doesn't show gameplay anyway, so I'm not really concerned. But I want to see something. I want him to show a trailer and it'd be his normal story trailer, but have some like little cut in there with something weird.
I wonder if
mechanic. That's what I
wonder if, with all of the bad press Microsoft has been getting lately, if they're going to try to wrangle up something from their Kojima project
for OD.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter what it is, Kojima, just give us anything.
show up on this video stream. Yeah.
Show me that Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that gets shown.
That Sony thing that could that probably will show up at the Sony event. Tomorrow.
Yucky. Ew.
They got I want to see games. Why not? Yeah.
The worst Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
Give me PlayStation All Stars 2, Battle Royale 2. Yeah. I don't know. I'm it's a weird year because I've been so in love with like indies and all these different versions of Prince of Persia. Apparently, I don't know. It's been like games that wouldn't normally cross my mind have been what I've been playing this year, and I'm totally fine with it.
It's hard to tell on the Sony side because like what's not out. Like like what's like the thing that you're waiting for? It's like that's like Sony specific. Like they're still doing Horizon stuff. Like that's fresh in people's.
And the Lego Horizon game. That's the rumors. Like there's a Lego Horizon game. Which who wants that? Who wants Lego Horizon?
From an outsider,
the set's really good.
What's that?
Unless
that's not, yeah.
So I just want to say, so we're talking about like what could Sony put out? We really don't know.
Yeah.
Because from an outsider's point of view, looking in, all he's got is Destiny 2's final expansion. That's it. That's all they really have that we know of. So they could show anything.
Yeah.
They're banking pretty hard.
I really expect Spider-Man 2 story stuff, just like DLC.
They kind of have to.
Sony thinks tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m.
I can't imagine they would put too much time into the Destiny thing, right? Because it has like anything for Destiny, because it's like 5 days away.
Yeah.
When you're showing,
I don't know.
When you're showing 14 games in a 30-minute presentation.
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like some launch trailer thing with like some like top 40 song, you know?
Yeah.
It's apparently 35 minutes long, a little bit over 35 minutes long, is from what people. The video premiere is up.
Dude, why did I see Jeff Grubb say the word Sly Cooper?
Yeah, oh, jeez.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be Insomniac working on that anymore. That's Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch. I get them mixed up.
Yes, yeah. Insomniac is
same.
still doing Spider-Man and Wolverine. So
Yeah.
yeah. Sucker Punch hasn't done anything since
Ghost of Tsushima.
So probably a second Ghost of Tsushima coming out, or Sony's forcing them back to
Sly Cooper modern like port would be amazing. Even like some sort of like remake type of thing would be awesome. I've been having a craving to play that game, those games again. They're so good.
Yeah, the PS3 remasters of all of those were great too.
Yeah.
So that fourth game was really good. Like that's the thing. Like Sony has like these pockets. Like a new Ratchet and Clank game could come out at any time. I don't know. Like,
so by the way, the Silent Hill transmission is a little over a half hour. It covers game updates, a deeper look at the film, and new merch.
Yeah, another Pyramid Head skateboard, baby.
They're gonna show a visual novel trailer in that. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be like, woo!
The most like that is only a game for Zach and I. Like
it's by a guy that only JJ and I know, and we know how much clout that he has. So we're like really like high.
Yeah, that name holds a lot of weight, and you know exactly what to expect from that name. And we cannot wait to see give him the sandbox. What does he do? How many pages is fucking?
Umi Neko's like 100,000 pages or something crazy. Like it's like
and that's just one of the like 5. There's I don't know. Like that you've got the
remakes,
the rumors of the remakes of 0 and Code Veronica and 9 apparently is, and the original Resident Evil is supposedly they're remaking all of them.
Remake 5. I want the discourse.
Yeah.
You're in Africa killing black people. Oh my god.
It's gonna be a fun few days.
I'm all for a Resident Evil game. Just give me. I play them all. I've beat them all. I've beaten the remakes. The third remake sucks shit.
Oh, does it?
It's like 2.5 hours long. It's really short,
they cut like 2/3 of the game out of it.
All right, my friends. I'm yawning. I am ready to log off. Good chat. We're gonna have a fun couple of weeks here. It's a magical time of year. For anybody that's gonna be out in LA, look for me. I'll be out there next week doing the SGFs and all the IGN and all that other fun stuff. But until then, you'll find us here at sidequesting.com, SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch, and of course the SideQuesting Discord, where myself, JJ, Tom, and Zach can be found. Gentlemen, thank you, my dudes. Love you so much.
Guys, they showed a set photo of Rings of Power and it has Tom Bombadil in it. What are we going to do?
No fucking way.
Let's go. Yeah. No, that's the right way to end the side quest. Tom Bombadil.